Hi, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Justy, and
and
together
together
we're
we're
losing
losing
it.
it. We've each lost over 100 pounds with the help of diet, exercise, and breaking bad habits. And I also had weight loss surgery in 2020.
And I recently had skin removal surgery.
We're just sharing our journey and what we've learned throughout the process.
And we're not doctors, so if you have any medical questions, reach out to your doctor.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk about bullshit excuses and the way that our brain likes to trick us, and it thinks it's happier when we're giving in to ourselves and that kind of thing. We've had probably between Jesse and I every excuse under the book. I bet there's nothing that we haven't had that our brains have told ourselves. But it's fighting past it to actually get you to your goal. So, Jesse, I'm going to kick it over to you and kind of let you talk about, where we're going with this.
Yeah, so excuses are something that I think, well, we all have. So everybody has excuses, whether it's weight loss or career or whatever. Our brain is made up to protect us and keep us comfortable, right? And so is our body. And so if you're comfortable at a certain weight or you're comfortable in a certain job, your brain is going to throw up all these excuses as to why you should stay there or why you should just stay comfortable. And so the first thing that I really want people to understand is that you're not weird because you have excuses. Like it's normal. And until we normalize the fact that we have excuses, then we can't recognize them. So just knowing that you're not a failure because you have excuses or thoughts or urges, it's normal. And then understanding that being able to identify those when you have them and then learning over time, doesn't happen overnight, how to build confidence and how to build kind of a passion and a purpose behind what you're doing in order to lighten the chatter and the excuses or just to ignore them altogether. Like I really literally sometimes tell them to go fuck off. But it didn't happen overnight. And I wish I would have known years ago that I wasn't abnormal because I have all these excuses or these fears. As strong as a woman as I portrayed myself to be over the years, I had a lot of fears around losing weight. And so I think that's what we're going to talk about first is kind of like what Stephanie and I have gone through over the years and what we've learned when it comes to excuses. So, Steph, do you want to start kind of talking
Yeah,
about?
because just hearing you say that makes me think like our over the our 46 years of life, and I was a chubby little kid. I just saw a picture of myself when I was a kid um recently, and I bet I was like 6 or 7, and I had the belly and I had the thighs. I had it all back then, and I was bigger than every other kid. So, it's almost like in my mind, even as a kid, I think I just knew I was different and I thought that I was different, but like Justy just said, you're not. Like everybody has like thoughts and excuses, and I see it in like the kids, my kids now, my stepdaughter, and the way that her brain works, and it's like you can kind of all put it to full circle. Like we all have these excuses. We all tell ourselves these things. Like
Mhm.
Justy said, it is our body is trying to our brain and our body is there to protect ourselves. So we've got 40 some years of the same results that we've gotten. And it's like you're constantly, your brain is constantly trying to work to protect you. So for if over the last 40 years, these excuses have comforted me and made me feel better, um, and led me to where I am, to think that now, 40 years later, I'm just gonna change it like that. It's not gonna happen. So it takes the time that it takes. It took us a long time. Like Justy and I have said, we've been friends for, 12 plus years. And since we've met, these are conversations that we've had with each other and, about trying to lose weight and everything. So it's like we've literally been doing this our whole life. So to get to a point now, like Justy said, where she can tell her excuses to fuck off,
Mhm.
that didn't just happen.
Mhm.
And I'll have a full on conversation with myself, like standing in front of the refrigerator,
Mhm.
because that is my battle, and everybody's got a different battle. Everybody's got something different that they're demons that they're fighting and whatnot. Like for me, it's food, and it's an addiction to food, and I love food. I'm a chef. I love food. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I kind of got off a path there a bit, but I just want to like reiterate that it is normal. It's normal to
Mhm.
have those conversations. It's normal for your brain to continue to talk to itself. It's normal for you to have these excuses. And so don't make yourself feel like an outcast, like you're the only one, because you are not.
And
Certainly
once
not.
you accept it, that it's going to happen, then you have power. Then you can take power over it. But if you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to lose weight because I just think all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then you don't have power.
Right.
And so what I want people to do is feel empowered to take control over their excuses. And the first thing is like admitting you have, it's not a problem, but admitting that you have them and recognizing it's normal. And then for me, my excuses came from different reasons. Like all of my excuses came from either uncertainty and fear of different things with weight loss, or a lack of passion or lack of a why. So until I really locked down on that, like for instance, I used to be like, well, I'm going to eat this pizza because, I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to lose weight, or, I'm gonna, and it doesn't make sense now, but that's what I told
Right.
myself. Or, well, one cookie isn't going to make a difference. I'm not losing weight anyways. Or what if I don't like my body once I lose weight? Or what about the loose skin? Or
I
what if
hear
the,
that all the time. I hear it
yeah.
all the time. People will
Mhm.
say, "Well, I don't want to have weight loss surgery because I see all these people with this loose skin."
Mhm.
Okay, and
Well,
guess who's
yeah. And
healthy with
so,
this loose
and
skin?
yeah, so I had to identify where my excuses were starting. Like, what was I telling myself when I was going for a piece of pizza? I was telling myself a lot of times that, well, I'll do better tomorrow, or this one piece of pizza isn't going to make a difference. So I had to identify, or like, oh, well, what if losing weight? It was a lot of what ifs. What if losing weight changes my relationship? What if, losing weight, whatever. So it wasn't until I was like, okay, if losing weight changes my relationship, so be it.
Right.
If I have loose skin, it's better than skin filled with fat. Like I had to start saying, okay, excuse, okay, feeling, thought, whatever. Like you don't make any
Fighting
sense.
back. Yeah,
Like I
you have
had
to
to
fight it
fight
back.
back to my
Yeah.
own self. And so it's kind of like, what if I don't lose weight? Well, no, I will, but I won't if I eat this pizza.
Right.
So my
Well, it
fears
kind of,
being, go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say it kind of cushions the fall because
Mhm,
we're so conditioned to fail because we failed time
mhm,
after time after time again every time that we tried to lose weight, that if we make these excuses, it's going to cushion the fall when we ultimately we know we're going to fall. Our brain
mhm,
is thinking we're going to fall, so it's cushioning the fall for us. But if we're able to, you have to get uncomfortable with yourself. The only way that you can make change is to get uncomfortable. Change is not
mhm.
comfortable for
No.
anybody, for
Mhm.
anything that you're trying to change. It's not comfortable. So you have to get uncomfortable with yourself and allow yourself to fall. It is okay. Like humans are resilient. You're going to make it. So allow
Right.
yourself to fall, but just fight those excuses back, because otherwise your body wants the comfort level. It wants the comfort of knowing that, like, okay, so we're going to tell ourselves this bullshit excuse. You're going to buy it, and then we're going to go eat that pizza that we wanted. And
Mhm,
everybody's happy. It's a win-win, right? No,
mhm.
because I'm still 275 pounds. So it's not a win-win.
And I'm going to feel guilty for the next day because I made this decision. And so it's kind of like, it's kind of like like if I'm telling myself, oh, just eat the piece of pizza, like my biggest thing was you'll do better tomorrow. Um, but I had to normalize, and I was just telling myself a lot of drama. So you'll be better tomorrow. I tell myself now, no, you won't. I'm going to do better right now. I'm going to do better in this moment. And so
Right.
I stopped thinking about the what ifs. I stopped thinking about, doing better tomorrow, and started thinking about in this moment, talking to myself. Um,
We all talk to
what,
ourselves.
right.
So
What is this pizza going to do for me? And so literally okay, it's going to make me feel better because I like the taste of it, but I know what it tastes like. It's going to probably make me feel full and like shit for the next hour. I'm going to have guilt because I ate it. It wasn't on plan. Now, if that bitch is on plan, I'm eating it. But
enjoying every
and
bite of
enjoying
it.
every bit of it, but it wasn't
Right.
on plan. It literally was an urge. And now I'm giving all these excuses to fulfill that urge. So when you think about it logically, when you step back for a second and think about it logically, you can talk yourself out of it. And what happens is you talk yourself out of it. And I remember very specifically, like the first time this happened, it was when I was living in Florida. So it was over 2 years ago. And there was pizza left over in the refrigerator. And I'm like, I'm just going to have that piece because that's the last piece. And then it'll be gone. And so then I
Oh,
was
that'll
like,
solve everything.
right. And so then I was like, but that doesn't make any sense. And I said, no, what you're
Or
going to do
else
is
it'll be gone in the toilet when you shit it
right.
out. Like
So,
one way or the other, it's
right.
gonna be gone, or in the trash can.
Right. And so I literally took that piece of pizza and I threw it in the trash. And I threw it in the trash upside down. But I threw it in the trash upside down, so there was no going back. And I felt so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I really felt so proud of myself because I finally made a decision for myself and for my future self, and my why was stronger than my urge for the pizza.
And that was
And
that was just
so
one
that
step. You took one step in the right direction.
yes, and that felt good. And so
Mhm.
every time, every excuse that I have had ever since then, I've built on that. So that felt good.
And the
All right,
excuse in that moment is we don't waste food, we're not wasting the money. But
right. Like I
waste
can't.
is waste, whether it was waste in the trash or waste in the toilet, it's waste.
Mhm.
Why put the extra
Right.
calories into your stomach when either way it's turning out to be waste?
And I wasn't
Either
hungry,
way.
and it wasn't on plan. I wasn't hungry. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I just took my ass to bed, but I took my ass to bed feeling pride. And so
Right.
my fears and my uncertainty over weight loss and all the things and whether or not I was going to be able to do it or not do it, slowly my decisions in the right way turned into confidence. And
Right.
so, and it didn't happen overnight. Literally, like I said, that was 2 years ago, over 2 years
Right.
ago. And so, but as your confidence builds, like, yes, I can throw a piece of pizza in the trash and I didn't die. Like, it was
And
fine.
children are still starving in Africa
Right. Like, I didn't
without that
solve
piece
the
of
world's
pizza.
problems, but
Right.
I did take a step towards keeping a promise to myself. And I know now that I can do it again. So I have certainty, right? So instead of being uncertain, I now have certainty. And so then it just sort of moved from one thing to another. Well, I'll do better tomorrow. That was my excuse a lot. Well, no, what if I do better right now? And so that was the next step. And so just slowly teaching my brain as I built confidence in myself around weight loss, it started happening. And the excuses are still there, but they are not as strong. And I have the
And
confidence.
less
Yeah.
frequent because
Mhm.
they already know, like, well, this bitch is going to shoot me down anyway. So I even bring this option to the table.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So,
I'll tell you, there's a lot of different forms of excuses. And so sometimes it's excuses in the sense of, I have a really busy day today, I don't have time,
mhm,
things like that. Or, um, I worked out really hard today. So the excuses come in so many. It could come in a reward form. It could
mhm,
come in a, um, to make yourself think it's the right thing to do because you're saving yourself time.
mhm,
And sometimes you do need to call an audible on your plan,
mhm.
but are you calling an audible on your plan and getting Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets and a kale salad, or are you calling an audible on your plan and getting Chick-fil-A sandwich, waffle fries, and a vanilla cone?
Right.
That's the difference. So sometimes
Mhm,
you do have to call the audible. When life isn't perfect, you forgot your prepped meal packed up, take to work with you. Sometimes you do have to call the audible. But are you going to allow the excuses to creep in and let you make the better choice or the worst choice? Like,
mhm.
what is it you always put best choice? Because, like, if you're going out or something somewhere on your
Yeah.
plan, you'll just put best choice.
Mhm.
Meaning, I might just have like the grilled fish instead of the fried fish.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you just have to, your excuses are sometimes going to come in and say like, well, we forgot our lunch today, so I
I
guess I'll
might as
just order
well.
whatever off of the menu. And
Mhm.
so, because you have to make that other choice, but you have to like slow that excuse down.
Or
Yes,
there's
I
free
forgot.
donuts in the
Yeah,
lobby, so I
right.
have to eat one. And it's really, when you think about excuses, they're really dramatic.
They
Like, you don't
are.
have to eat one. You
Right,
don't have to. But when you tell
right,
yourself you have to, then you lose the ability to control your actions because it's dramatic. Like,
right.
oh my God, I'm gonna die if I don't eat, a cookie. You're not actually gonna die.
So
So
So that reminds me of, we're gonna do a quick story time, because this, and it's so funny because I had to write a note because I didn't want to forget about this. You can pick out other people's bullshit excuses way easier than you can pick out your own, because you hear other people
mhm,
talking and you're like, come on now.
mhm.
So this is really funny. So there was gosh, I want to say it was Popeye's chicken or something like that. I think it was Popeye's. And my brother-in-law, Matt, um he was going through all these videos of like different Popeyes, like, I don't know, Vine videos or YouTube videos, whatever they were back in the day. And there was this one that sticks with us, and we'll always joke about it now because it's just hysterical. And this is a total bullshit excuse. So Popeyes had to like close down because they ran out of chicken, which is
Yeah.
insane because it's a chicken joint, right? So people are rolling up to the drive-through and they're showing this like video of them like freaking out at the drive. There's nobody even there. It's like a recording. And they're like, these people are like insane, losing their mind because there's no chicken. And so the one person goes, what? No chicken? How am I supposed to feed my family? And it's like, Popeye's the only way that you could feed your family for the day. And
Right.
then the other one was like, no chicken. There's just no chicken, or you're out of chicken. So that'll be like our joke. Like these people would like, they get so pissed about, what do you mean? There's no chicken? And it was like, do you mean to tell me that the only thing that you could do in this moment was eat Popeye's chicken? There's
Right.
no other option.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so you can totally pick up other people's. So it's just funny, it's comical, but at the same time, that's a bullshit excuse. You're saying
Mhm.
I have to have Popeye's chicken tonight.
Right, right. And I think what we tend to do too is our excuses, like we talked about a little bit earlier, like our brains and our body don't always have the same outcome or idea, right? So our body's main goal is to keep it comfortable and safe, and our brain wants to be skinny, right? And so they fight with each other. So not only is our body and our brains fighting, but then our wants and our desires are fighting with our excuses and fight. It's just this constant battle. And until you start to identify it and get better at it, you're not going to be able to get over it. And I know with like bariatric patients, they've had this tool that allows them to not have that drama for a while, right? As
Oh,
much,
but it
but
comes back.
that it comes back. And so you have to do the work no matter who you are. You have to do the work in order to identify your excuses. And it's not just with weight loss, it's with your career not doing well, it's with your relationship not doing well, it's with, you feeling like accepting things from other people that make you feel badly. Like there's all these things that your brain, oh, well, I just, so and so is not giving me a chance to show. Well, no, it's you're not showing this person how good you can be. It's
Right.
it's it's always like these excuses. And so until you sort of, people always ask me like, I'm pretty successful in my career, and I have been successful with weight loss, and like I'm just not as strong as you. Well, I wasn't strong
One
when I
step at a time.
started. Like
Right.
I didn't start out this way. I wasn't
You
I
didn't come out of
wasn't
the womb like,
I wasn't born a badass.
Uncle
Like,
Jesse.
you
Yeah.
know, I faked it a lot. I faked it until I made it. And I was just determined, and especially in my career, like I knew what I wanted. And
Right.
so I did, but I didn't
And
have
what
that.
the desire of what you want has to be stronger than the urge that and the bullshit that your brain is telling you. You just have to want it
Exactly.
more. And that's the same with like a
Exactly.
sport, like guys that, or not guys, people, I guess women play sports, but I my mind automatically went to football for some reason. But like just in like a sport, you have to want it. It's not going to just come to you. There are people that are naturally talented
Mhm.
and gifted and can play better, but if you don't have the heart and the want for it, it's not going to
Mhm.
work. And it's the same
Mhm.
thing when it comes to something like weight loss. Like if you, sure, we might be good at like meal planning and knowing what we want to eat, but if the want and the desire isn't there, that meal plan is out the window when the urges
Mhm.
come in.
Mhm.
Got to have the heart. You got to bring the heart to the table.
Right. And it can't just be, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, but it can't just be because I want to be 100 pounds, right? Or lose 100 pounds. It
Right.
has to, you have to break it down to the littler things. For me, it started, I wanted to wrap a towel around my body without the gap. And then it was, this thing. And then it was the next thing. And then like I was talking to my accountability person in Puerto Rico, and she's like, I feel bad because I've been doing really good because I have a reunion in July and I want to, lose a certain amount of weight. She's like, but I know once that's over, I'll gain it back. Well, not well, yeah, because that's what you're telling yourself.
Right.
So,
Well,
but
that's
that's
because
okay
that's
to
what
have.
we've done time after time after
Mhm,
time, because that's what happened to me. I lost a bunch of weight before going to Ireland. It was like the
mhm,
arrival fallacy. Thank
mhm,
God I'm here because I white knuckled the whole way there, got
mhm.
on the trip, I
Right,
could breathe, and then I ate. But we
right,
have to
right.
change it. If you see it coming, it's like you're standing on train tracks watching this train come at you. What are you
Mhm.
gonna do? Are you gonna
Right.
stand there and let it run you over? Or are you gonna get the fuck out of the way?
Right. And so, I told her, I said, it's good to have those small goals of, okay, July is a reunion. I want to do good, stay on track for that. But when that's over, you have to have the next thing already in,
Right.
in your head. So, okay, well, that's over. Now what's the next thing? Well, I want to do this, or I want to fit into this outfit, or I want to, you know, be able to run this, whatever. So, but if you're going into it saying, well, I'm not gonna, after that, it's gonna come all back. Well, then it's gonna, like, you
You
have
just
to,
manifested the wrong thing.
right. But if you say, I'm gonna get to this goal, and then I'm going to set another one and crush that fucking goal, and then I'm gonna set
Right.
another one and crush that fucking goal, then
And
you
even
are empowered.
say like, you know what? I did it. I did really great. I lost 30 pounds leading up to this reunion. I feel great. I look cute in this dress. I'm going to go there. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy some food. I'm going to
Mhm,
enjoy a couple of drinks. And then tomorrow I'm going to get right back to where I was yesterday.
mhm,
Don't
and
lose the momentum. That's the
mhm,
problem. But you don't want to go into it like restricting yourself at this event that you've been like working towards. So allow yourself to enjoy your event, but then get right back on track because you lose that momentum and it's really hard to get it back. Really
right,
hard.
right. Like I'm going to a baseball game tonight and I'm having a pretzel. I
Yeah,
am.
and it's
That's
on
what
your
I'm doing.
plan.
But tomorrow I'm not gonna have a pretzel, and then the next day I'm
Right,
gonna have a pizza, and I'm not having a pretzel and a hot dog and a Dr. Pepper and some nachos and some ice cream bits.
right,
You know what I mean? I'm
right.
having a pretzel, and I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of
Because
that
you're at a
pretzel.
baseball game and that's what you do.
Right. And
But
so,
you're
but that,
choosing.
and
You're
that's not an
choosing between the
excuse.
pretzel and the hot dog and the beer and right,
Right. And it's not an excuse. I've planned it. I know I'm going to do it and I'm okay with it. And I'm not going to say, well, my God, I had a pretzel, so I'm going to gain 10 pounds. Well, no, because
right.
that's not reality. Our
That's not,
excuses
yeah.
are not reality 99% of the time. And so once you're able to identify them and say, okay, this is an excuse, then you need to neutralize it. You need to say, okay, but it's normal to have this excuse so that you don't like get all down a rabbit hill of self-deprivation.
Right,
So this is normal, right? So it's okay to have an excuse, but what are the facts here? So the
right,
facts are, I'm not going to die if I don't eat this cookie. What are the things going to happen if I do eat this cookie? A, B, or C? What if I don't? A, B, or C? And then you choose.
right,
And then you choose and you accept your choice and you move on. And you don't think about if you ate or if you didn't eat the cookie. If you didn't eat the cookie, you're going to feel empowered. If you did eat the cookie, you're probably going to feel defeated. But that's your
right,
choice.
right.
But it's when you don't give yourself the power to know that you have the choice and allow the excuse to run your life, that's when you get into a situation of being out of control in whatever
Yeah.
area it is. And
Yeah.
that doesn't feel good to be out of control.
Yeah. And your brain is again thinking to itself, like, what if you've already set yourself up to say, like, you know, I'm going to this I've lost the weight, I'm going to the reunion, I'm gonna gain the weight back. Your brain is already like, sweet. So she's prepared for this. So your brain
Yeah,
is like, I have less work to do here.
yeah,
You
I'm
know?
setting
So it's
myself up
crazy.
and
It's just crazy
mhm,
how I don't even know the right way to say it, but just how, like, what a marvelous thing our bodies and our brains are, that they can independently think on your own. You're almost like a referee. Your whole life, you're a
yes,
goddamn referee between what your
mhm,
brain and the bullshit that it's telling you and what you know that you should do. It's like
mhm,
a tennis match. Well, I can eat
mhm.
this pizza because I, you know, forgot to bring my lunch with me today. And it's like, no, 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 that's not what the plan is. Yeah, but the pizza's right there, or there's those donuts, and it's like you're just back and forth, and you're this damn referee trying to figure it out. But
Mhm.
yeah, one step at a time.
Mhm. And it really is one step at a time and being in the moment. And it's hard at first. Man, it's so hard. And you're not going to be perfect. There's days when you're going to eat the cookie. But like I
Hmm.
said, if you or the pizza or the donuts or whatever, but as long as you're like, okay, I own that decision and you know, I now know what am I going to do next time to do better.
Right,
So don't use those mess ups. I don't even want to call them mess ups, but choices that you wish you made differently. I
right,
have a lot
yeah,
of them. If you use that, if you take that as something that's going to make you feel bad, or you take that as something that's going to make you learn from it. So, yeah, I ate the cookie or the sleeve of cookies or whatever it may be.
it happens.
Um, but why? And how do I feel? Like analyze yourself, like really analyze yourself. How do I feel about it? You know, next time there's free donuts in the office, what am I going to do to not have a donut and then go back for a second one because they're
They're
free,
probably stale.
right? They
They're
probably didn't
always
taste as
stale.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like I remember when I worked at the office, it was like there was always shit in that break room because
Always.
we were just down from
Yes.
the chefs. And so I was just like, well, it's free, it's in there. And that's in the morning. And then in the afternoon, well, it's still there. Somebody has to eat it. Well,
So
that's
how
not
delicious
gonna
is that
have to
shit?
be
Right.
me, you know? So really taking your, and so it's not always about winning, 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 but it's taking your days where you're not winning and instead of beating yourself up about it, trying to find out what it is and why you did it that way and give yourself grace and it's okay. But what are you going to do next time?
Yeah.
So,
And then there's also the excuses of, like, the very emotional ones, like of maybe a parent or somebody dies, and it's like,
mm,
I just need this, you know, you'll have the excuses of, now that's going to be much harder to fight through, but you're going to get those emotional excuses at that point. Or it could be like, oh, I got a promotion at work. All the things that we talked about in emotional eating, those
mhm,
are those emotional eating triggers of, like, you're celebrating this, oh, it's the holidays, I'm just going to allow myself to indulge, and on
mhm.
January 1st I'm going to get back on track. It's all of those excuses. A lot of it stems from our emotional eating brain, of
Right.
celebration, of mourning, of loss, of um you know, what did I say earlier? The kids won their baseball game, we're going for ice cream.
Mhm.
It's all of those little things. It's just like, the excuse is like, well, we won, so we get, no, you don't have to. You can go,
They're
you can show
always
your
gonna
support.
happen. Like
Yes,
life is
like,
always gonna happen. And
right.
and
And
I
you
I
make the
talk
choices.
and I've talked about it before. Like I think the worst time in my life I think I've ever had, and I've had some shit, was when my dad died. And then 2 weeks later, my relationship ended. And I was like devastated. And
Right.
I gained like 30 pounds, pretty quickly because that's all I knew to do was to cope with food. And that's the only thing that comforted me at the time. When I look back on it, it's kind of like, but that's all I could do.
That's all we knew.
That's all I could do. And if that happened again, I would probably do it differently. But at that time, in that moment, that's what I needed. That's what I needed to get through it.
But you got
Um,
your shit together.
I got my shit together. And I remember saying like, me eating this, and that was about 2 years ago with the pizza thing. Like me eating this pizza isn't bringing my dad back.
Right.
Me eating this pizza isn't going to make this man love me.
Right.
Me eating this pizza isn't going to change the fact that I feel like shit right now.
That's what I was
It's
about to
gonna
say.
make
You
me
brought
feel
the facts
worse.
to the table. You brought the facts to
Right.
the table, and that takes the emotion and the bullshit out of it because they're facts. You can't argue the facts.
Mm-hmm. I
You just
talk to
can't.
my managers all the time. They come to me with a lot of feelings, and I'm like, but I need some facts. Like, oh, I don't think, so and so likes me or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, but why?
Right.
They can't tell me why. Well, but
Right.
what specifically did they say or what specifically happened? No specifics, just that's how I feel. And
What I
that's kind of
think.
that's what we do to
Right.
ourselves though. It's kind of like like if you were to talk to any of my managers, one of my phrases is facts over feelings. I need
Yeah.
facts because you got all the feelings right now, but I need some facts. But that's because that's how I've taught myself, A, to be successful in business, but C, to be B, I skipped over B, but B, to be successful in my weight loss. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Mitch, what are the facts? Like you're telling these people that you manage to be facts over feelings and all this bullshit that you're not even doing yourself.
Yeah.
So I had to
And
turn the script.
and it's important to honor your feelings. I mean, we're not robots. You know what I mean? We have to feel the feels,
Mm-hmm.
but feel your feels and then bring the facts to the table. Feel them.
Mm-hmm.
You might eat through some of those feelings when it's a really difficult situation like you have. You may eat through some of it, but
Mm-hmm.
enough is enough, and bring the facts to the table and let's get real. Because you can
Right.
either go down this hole of self-pity, or you can pull your fucking big girl pants up and get it together. What are the facts? The
Mm-hmm.
facts are this pizza's not bringing my relationship back. This pizza's not bringing my dad back. You know what would make me happy? What would make my dad happy? What would make the man that left me miserable is if I fucking succeed.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah, which we already know. Don't ask how we know, but we know.
we know.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to show everybody I had my time of self-pity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
And
And
but
look,
and I don't think about it
it
anymore.
took you 2 years, but look at you now,
Yeah,
right?
but I don't look in the past anymore like, oh my God, like I fucked up or whatever. It's like, no, that was done. I'm moving on. I'm moving
Right.
on to, a new path, a new life, and gonna help people along the way. And that's way more important than sitting in, a bath of
Right.
self-pity.
And so now here we are sharing with you what we've done over the past, 2 years alone. We've made leaps and bounds and huge changes in just 2 years alone, but the 12-ish years that we've known each other, that we've been like back and forth and learning and sharing and challenges, and listen to this podcast and listen to that again. I'll say it again, and we probably say it almost every podcast: find your people, because your
Yes.
people are going to call you out on your bullshit excuses, and your
Mhm.
people are going to share their findings and their learnings, and then that's how we got to where we are today. And now we can share with you. And so it's just like, find your people and get rid of your bullshit excuses.
For sure. So what is next?
Yes, I knew you were going to say it. All I know, I only got one, is our mid-year checkup on our goals.
Yes.
After that, I don't know, but I'm pretty proud that I know.
I don't think either of us know. So yeah, our mid-year checkup on our goals. So that's going to be next. It's June now. So where are we at? Halfway through the year. I cannot believe the year is halfway over.
I know, my mind is blown.
I mean, where the hell has time gone? I'm kind of freaking out because that means I only have like 6 more months until my surgery on my legs is scheduled, and I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that. So I'm gonna have to maybe pivot, maybe adjust on that, but I'm definitely still doing it. But yeah, so our 6 month checkup is next.
Yeah. And then after that, surprise.
Right. So if you have
Sometimes
any
things just come
suggestions-
to us. Yeah, they just
Right,
come to us.
yeah.
We're like, you know what we need to
I
talk
have
about?
some ideas, but I don't remember what they are right now. But
Yeah, we
I
have
do
some stuff in the
ideas.
holster, but we got to see what's relevant to us right now and what we're feeling passionate about. So
Mhm. For sure. So join us next time for our 6 month checkup.
sounds good.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one, y'all.